Fishing in Egypt. Fishing in Egypt includes every form of fishing as a hobby or profession nowadays. In Egypt, fishing is really developed and the country is considered one of the best fishing destinations in the world. The history of fishing dates back to the ancient Egyptian times. Egypt can be defined as the bedrock of fishing because the Egyptian civilization at the time has been one of the first to introduce this practice in the world. Nowadays, fishing is still very advanced in the country, especially in the seacoasts and inland waters. The most important places are the Nasser Lake, Sharm el-Sheikh, Hurghada, Marsa Alam, the Nile, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Gulf of Suez. Most of the time, fishermen go to the Red Sea coast as Sharm el-Sheikh, Hurghada, or Marsa Alam, which are the three best spots to go fishing in Egypt. The best period to catch fish stretch from January to March. However, at the Red Sea coast, it is conceivable to fish at any period of the year because even in winter, the temperature is always very high and it rains very rarely. These very good climatic conditions all year round make the country very attractive for professionals and also for beginners. In ancient Egypt, during periods of rest, the fishermen spent some time treating their leather clothing and footwear with tallow and fish oil to keep them supple and waterproof. Fishermen donned a large leather apron to keep their clothing clean and dry. Making a living means quick thinking. Thus, "May the Lord take care of you," and other such expressions adorn the fishing boats of Alexandria, one of the main fishing destinations in Egypt. Such adornments create a colorful tableau of a profession that has been handed down from generation to generation in this famous port city since antiquity. These sayings give the fishermen hope and protection during their daily journeys on the Mediterranean and nearby lakes in pursuit of their livelihoods. With a graceful swinging movement, a fisherman casts his net and prays for an abundant catch. His sirwal, the baggy trousers typically worn by Alexandrian fishermen, though some prefer the galabeya, flutter in the wind. A cap protects his head from the glare of the rising sun. Just as the weather's moods fluctuate in this part of the eastern Mediterranean, particularly in winter, so too do a fisherman's prospects, depending on what the sea has in store for him that day. One day he may bring home a large catch that will keep his family content. Sometimes he will equip himself to stay out at sea for up to a month until his net is full. Though fishing is a profession that comes with many dangers, it does not come with health insurance, a pension, or the level of social insurance needed to ensure a life of dignity. Aspects of such fishermen's lives were presented in the film El Marakbi, The Boatman, produced in 1995. It recounts the life of a simple boatman, Ahmed, played by actor Salah al-Saadani, who lives with his wife, son, and daughter on a fishing boat on the Nile. The film shows the life of a family and a profession that has existed in Egypt since the dawn of history.
في جنة على أرضنا وجالنا العالم قال هنا مكاننا من بداية الحياة من كل البلاد بلدنا فيها حجر بينطق تاريخنا ونيل يشهد يعيش جوا روحنا هنا بداية الحياة لف الدنيا دور ودور قولي فين تشوف تصور سحر يعيش سنين تصور كل ده عندنا
Searching through and through, my journey leads me back to you. And in the valley of the kings, it's so
welcome all of you once again. It's Backpack and still we're moving around Cairo. We always say that Egypt is a destination to all members of the family. Why do we say this? Because whenever you are looking for a place for your vacation, usually you are looking for certain or an important thing about the place. If you have children, if you are looking for historical sites, if you are looking for recreational sites, well, in Egypt you have it all. Even in some destinations, you can find all activities you are looking for. Whatever you are talking about, for example, if you're talking about children, if you are talking about those who are interested in historical sites, still all these things are available here in Egypt in one destination. Well, today we are in Cairo and we are moving around to find out more about the important places here in Cairo. Well, talking about one of the important sites like the El Muazz Street or any other place that we consider as an open air museum. We have many old mosques here in Egypt in several places, especially when we talk about Cairo. And whenever we talk about the mosque, we have to talk also about the minaret and the dome. And these are the main significance of the Islamic architecture. We're talking about the design, about the architecture of the building, and sometimes just by looking at the building you can tell or guess to which era it belongs to, because each era has its own designs and its own architecture. Let's find out together more about the mosque of today and more about the important sites that you must not miss in Cairo.
El Muazz Street is recognized as one of the oldest streets in Cairo, with the most beautiful ancient architectural wonders in the Islamic world, going back to Al Mu'izz li-Dinillah from the Fatimid dynasty. Stretching at 1 kilometer long, the street is riddled with historical buildings, mosques, houses, and other Islamic buildings. And of course, one of the most popular places over there is the 1,000-year-old Al Hakim Mosque. It is one of the most interesting places to visit. As we can see, this street includes several historic places that reflect different periods of time. Each building here has its unique design and architecture, reflecting different eras. One described this street as an open-air museum. The whole area here is unique. In addition, of course, to the gates surrounding the whole area, especially that these gates were built for a reason and not haphazardly. It is interesting to learn some more information about these gates. Cairo was called the citadel or fort. It looked like a square, and it was surrounded with the Bahr al-Azam or the Great Sea from the east, the Gulf from the west, from the north gardens extended to Mataraya, and the mount of Jabal el-Guwaishi from the south. When the Fatimid reign settled in Cairo under the leadership of Al-Mu'izz al-Din Allah, it was called Cairo of Al-Mu'izz because they decorated its four suburbs with luxurious buildings, delightful spots, and gardens. This increased its delightfulness and beauty, and it was the settlement of rulers and princes. Al Fustat city was big and important due to plenty of buildings, many people, and much of the livelihood means. That is why Gawhar al-Saqali was so keen on it. So he established the fortified gates and installed them around in the four-sided walls. Some Western visitors to Egypt may initially have very little interest in seeing Islamic monuments, but on first sight, those with any interest in architecture will be awestruck by the beauty and design of these Islamic medieval buildings. The most important thing here is not only to learn about the history of these mosques, but to understand the reason behind building each of them. Because Egypt has seen many influences from many different numbers ruling empires, including the Abbasid, the Fatimid, Ayyubid, Mamluk, and Ottoman, and others. Cairo specifically is a city of the world. Egypt offers a fair overview of mosque styles. Furthermore, its mosques date from the earliest periods of Islam up to, and of course, including modern varieties. Some mosques in Egypt, and particularly Cairo, are actually complexes that include a number of other structures that may or may not be found attached to other mosques. For example, many mosques include an Islamic school facility called a madrasa. Others may have mausoleums and tombs, and even hospitals, along with other structures within the complex. And mosques may be located in many different places, and some strange places as well. Sulaiman Agha Salahdar Mosque is one of the beautiful designs with a unique architectural design. Built in 1839, it has some of the decorative features of the Muhammad Ali style. The spatial configuration combines both Ottoman and local features, with a courtyard surrounded by arcades covered by shallow domes, and a sanctuary with 4 marble columns that support a central lantern. The mosque's design accommodates both the interior Qibla orientation and the existing context of the street by progressively increasing the thickness of the wall of the street facade, an adjustment technique first employed in the Mosque of Al-Aqmar. And the Sabil, which is next to the Kutab instead of underneath it, flaunts a facade decorated in an Ottoman Baroque fashion and strongly recalls that of the Sabil Kutab built by Ismail Pasha, facing the madrasa or the school of Al-Nasir Muhammad at Bain al-Qasrain. Usually for those who are interested in architecture, this is one of the most interesting places to stop at. Because each of these places has something to tell about the era that it belongs to. And most of the time when you enter the mosque, you can find out more about the era to which it belongs by just looking at its design, architecture, and the minaret as well. Because each era has its own designs and each era has its own style that makes it unique on its own.